Since I'm a small kid, I've been fascinated by chickens. I tend to like animals in general, but when you have a home and you have a garden, then for me, in my head, chickens really belong in it. So when we were young and my parents decided to take chickens, me and my sister very quickly became known as the chicken girls in our street, as we could often be seen walking around with a chicken under our arm in the garden or in the street, showing our animals to the neighbors. When me and my husband lived in Belgium in our apartment, keeping chickens was not really a possibility because we didn't have a garden. So yeah, having a garden was really something I was looking forward to. But then when we moved to Italy and we finally had our garden, the first year it very quickly became clear to us that the house and the garden really needed our attention first before we could commit to taking care of a flock of chickens. I gave myself a date to look forward to, because in our province there is one of the biggest and oldest bird markets in Europe. And I told myself that in the second summer that we will be living here, we could go to the market and that I could get the chickens that I had been longing for so long. And very soon the deadline to have a chicken coop ready came closer and closer, so I put myself to work. During the preparations, I did some research about the needs of chickens, and in that, this little encyclopedia that 10-year-old me bought with her pocket money was really helpful. I even found old notes and drawings of chickens in there. When you're building a night house for chickens, it's very interesting to look into the spatial needs of chickens, the materials that can be used for bedding, roosting sticks, roosting boxes, what the best position is for a chicken coop in terms of sun and shadow, what materials you can use, isolation, ventilation, and all those things. Before making the designs, I already passed by the shop to check in which sizes the wood would come, so I could keep that in mind when calculating everything, so that I could minimize the wood scraps and awkward cuts. I wanted to make a dreamy, whimsical night house for the chickens, one that looked like it was written in a fairy tale. For the design, I felt very inspired by the woodwork that I would see on the mountain houses over here. And I also was inspired by Scandinavian and Russian wooden forest houses and Victorian-looking chicken coops. One of my most important limits was that I never really did woodwork before, let alone building something as big as a chicken coop. But I didn't let that hold me back in fantasizing. First, I warmed up with experimenting with making a decorative wooden trim. Like this, I could explore a bit what I can do and how my tools work. Altogether, I was happy about how it turned out. So that gave me the courage to start working on the real deal. I started with a strong base structure out of 4.5 centimeters by 4.5 centimeters pine wood that has been treated so that it can withstand weather. Even though this structure will be internal, I chose this wood so it would have the least chance for it to ever be affected by wood rot. I carefully calculated and measured how many of these pieces I could cut out of every plank. Measure twice, because you can only cut once. And then I started constructing it all. To attach everything together, I made use out of zinc-ized metal angles and very long screws. Better safe than sorry. In my opinion, the structure couldn't be sturdy enough after seeing the storm of last summer. Normally diagonal beams would make the structure stronger than horizontal ones, but I placed them like this so that I could attach roosting sticks to them that would be both at the same height. And at the same time, the beams are supporting structures for little windows that I want to add for extra possible ventilation in summer. When I needed to cut specific angles, I realized that we have no set square to draw those angles. So I just looked up a picture from them and then traced them to make a stencil. My first attempt at cutting the angles wasn't the best, so I adjusted it until everything fitted nicely. So, that's much better. Then I made a structure for roosting boxes. You need at least one roosting box for every 3 chickens. This structure holds place for about 2 to 3 roosting boxes. For the floor and walls, I used pine wood planks that were made for flooring. They have a groove that allows them to attach to each other. Like this, the air won't flow from the outside to the inside to disturb the chickens. I forgot to varnish the wood before I attached it, so I gave it 2 layers afterwards. I purposely placed the planks so that all the uneven bits would be on the top. Like this, I can easily correct it later. Since it could start raining the coming days, I already put a first layer of paint to protect the wood. This paint is meant for outdoor use, and is used for both metal and wood. I diluted it a lot with synthetic solvent, so it would be absorbed deeper into the wood, in order to make the wood a little bit stronger. I focused a lot on cracks and deeper grains, because those will later be exposed to seeping water. Then I started applying trims to give everything a cleaner look. And I sanded and filled the top, so it would look nice and smooth. I don't think this is a necessary step, but I just liked it to look neat and even. And then, for the ventilation holes, I suddenly had a spark of an idea. So I gave it a try. It was a time-consuming idea, but I was really happy with the outcome. The ventilation section is a bit bigger than you would normally see. I did this for the heat in the summer. In winter I will place something on the inside to block half of the ventilation holes. And then it was time for a second coat of paint. I made the paint a little bit greener with some pigment drops. I like it more like this. And I made some blinds so we can close the little windows when extra ventilation is no longer needed. I screwed 2 wooden pearls as little handles. I felt like something was missing on the front, but I had a little idea. I like how it looks with this little addition. For the roof, I used old zinc-iced roof panels. It was hard finding a fitting material in the shops, so these I found in the garden. They are rusty, but I will treat them so that they can last longer.
There we go. I touched it. Wow.
I installed the roosting sticks in such a way that they are removable. Like this, I can easily clean them and move them away when I want to clean the bottom of the coop. Don't worry, they are not unstable when the chickens sit on them. On the bottom of the coop, I put a plastic tarp. This can easily be removed for deep cleaning. And for the bedding, we used a mix of wood shavings and straw. And then, as could be expected, in the evening before we had to get our chickens, I had to keep on working late to have everything finished. I'm putting this against the window so that beasts cannot come in. It smells very nice, like hay and fresh, soft chicken bedding, because I put the hay on it.
Nice.
I like a chicken in my coop. And then the next day was the day that we woke up very early and went to the market to get our chickens. We went without knowing what we were going to take, we just knew how many. And my husband, he had a certain idea in mind of a chicken that he once saw that he really liked. But for the rest, we just didn't know what we were going to find. And I will keep that a secret for you guys until the next video, where we will show our chickens, where we will show how we made the space where the chickens can run around, and also where you can see how the chicken coop ended up looking like. So yeah, I hope that you are as excited about this as me, and I thank you for watching this video. I wish you a lovely day, and hopefully I see you next time. Bye.